Hey guys, from Enjamina Chad. I thought I'd take one last shot at these Vachettes, and I try to compare some real Vachettes. The two with the keys are real Vachette locks, and then there's another one that's marked Vachette that turned out not to be real. It's a knockoff. So let's take a look at some of the differences, and then I'll show you how easy it is to get into pretty much any Vachette, regardless of whether it's the real French one or whether it's a Chinese or a Far Eastern knockoff. Okay, this first one, I bought it. These are all used, by the way, and they're all 5-pinners. There are no security pins in any of these Vachettes or any others that I've run into, these French locks. This is the shape of the key, and on a real Vachette, usually, the newer manufacturer, you'll find some kind of serial number. This one works beautifully. It is the Y keyway. And one of the things that you'll notice about a real Vachette, if you turn it sideways, it's rounded on the outside, and the reason it's rounded is because the key will press against the sides here. There's literally a slot cut here so that all the pressure of the key is not inside, it's on the outside here to reduce the wear on the key, and it helps turn the plug just a little bit easier. So that's one thing we can look for. This is another Vachette, and by the way, both of these are solid metal. There's no finish, nothing on the outside. They're very heavy. This is a brass one. The first one is nickel. This is a solid brass one, and again we got the same kind of thing. It does work. It's very used. This is a slightly older one. It has the same key, but this one doesn't have the serial number on it. A lot of wear on this lock. It's been around. You can see somebody's used this key, I don't know, 1,000,000 times probably. Again, we look, it's not as rounded as the other one, but we still see that characteristic cutout down the center to reduce the wear on the key, so that when we turn it, the pressure is not on the bow of the key. Instead, it's going to be on the core to help turn the core and make the key last a little bit longer. Now let's look at these two Vachette logos. These are the two real ones. And if I get the light just right, it might be a little bit hard. Look at the one on the left. You'll notice that it's the engraving on both of these. The engraving is the same depth throughout. It's pretty well executed. It's centered on the Bible, so they took a little bit of care there. And the word Vachette is written all in lowercase, so that should be some indication that this is probably a real one. That and the weight and just the general quality, the appearance and the weight of these things. Okay, we're not going to pick them yet. We're going to get to it in a moment. But then I like to take a look at this one. This one does have some kind of chromy finish. It's much lighter than the other two Vachettes. This one does not come with a key, but it really doesn't matter. If you take a look, there's no bow on it, and likewise, there's no cutout down the center here to accommodate the key. So this is a cheap, probably Far Eastern knockoff. My guess would be Chinese, but it's really difficult to say. When you look at Vachette, we'll compare this to the other one that has an almost, but not quite identical logo. The real one's on the left, the fake one's on the right. You'll notice it's not centered. The logos are similar, but the real one is lowercase, and then the knockoff, they spelled it right, at least this time, compared to some of the other locks that I've picked, but it's all in uppercase. So that's another way to tell the difference. Doesn't matter, and the answer is it really doesn't. All of these Vachettes are very, very easy to pick, and the fastest way to get into them is just to rake them open. There are no security pins, and you can just pretty much rake these things very quickly. Let me get the keys. There we go. Get that out of the way. He says, when the camera's not on. And there we go. So that's the fake Vachette open. And the others are not a lot different. Let me try this side. That side's got paint all up inside of it. Same kind of deal. Same rake. And there we go. Open Vachette. Open sesame. Open Vachette. And then the last one. Takes longer to get the tension wrench in there. Okay, a little bit of tension. Get in there. And there you go. So it doesn't matter if it's the real French Vachette or if it's the cheap Chinese copy. It doesn't matter if it's heavy or has pretty engraving or if it's centered or not. In terms of picking and security, they're all pretty much, well, they're Vachette. That's just the bottom line. Anyway, fellas, thanks for your time. Everybody stay safe and stay legal.